This is our session number 13. We are in the discussion of function keys. Now we are going to discuss the function key F9 and F10. F9 function key is called grid snap on as well as off. Already we saw grid. Grid is nothing but an imaginary graph line. How to catch that imaginary graph line exactly? That means how to snap the intersection of the X grid, Y grid exactly. Okay, right. This is the F9 status bar icon. Next we have a grid setting dialog box. Here we are going to choose X spacing, Y spacing of snap and polar spacing and snap type. Just right click over the snap mode status bar icon. You'll get the snap settings. Okay. Already we saw grid F7. That means at present we have an imaginary graph sheet X spacing 10, Y spacing 10. Now I'm going to keep the same distance here also. Snap X spacing, snap Y spacing is 10. Okay. Let me switch on this button. Okay. Even though the F9 button is switch on, the cursor will not have any effect. Once the command is given, now it will get activated. You can see now the mouse will move only 10 mm, 10 mm only. It will not move anywhere. You can see X 10, 10 mm increment, Y 10, 10 mm increment only it will move. So it is easy for us. Let us see now. Just click line 10 mm, 10 mm, 10 mm, 10 mm, 10 mm, 10 mm, 10 mm. Just click complete the object. Okay. I did not given any distance, I did not given any angle, I did not given any x-axis or y-axis. Okay, just I have picked the points by the grid snap buttons. Okay, the space is 10 now. Let me redefine this to 5 mm. Now go to the command, just give 5 mm, 5 mm, 5 mm. Each 5 mm you will get the increment. So every 5 mm only the mouse will move and keep the distance. Just observe this. This is 5 mm X. This is 5 mm Y. Another 5 mm, 5 mm. So how much you are moving? So that is shown here by the polar tracking. You can see some angle tracking is coming here. So how much distance you are moving? You are moving 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So by this measurement also you can check exactly how much distance you want to move. 25. So from here I want to move 25. So let me check. This is 25 exactly. Here 15 I want to move. Above 15 I want to move. Just complete the object. Okay. So I have drawn an exact size object without any measurement, without any angle. That is the beauty of these function keys. Right. Next, polar spacing. The polar spacing will not open at present. It will open when you go for polar tracking. Okay, right. Now we have snap type. Generally we have a snap. So this is called snap. This is called rectangular snap. Okay. This isometric snap will be utilized when we draw the isometric drawings. Okay. If you go for polar snap, see, once I choose the polar snap, the polar distance also will open. Okay, so let it be. When I move the mouse, there is no polar tracking, there is no polar measurements are coming. So what to do now? Just go to the polar tracking. You switch on the polar tracking. Okay, so when you use the polar snap, this polar distance and polar tracking will be activated when you switch on the polar tracking on. That means F10 button. Okay, now you can see. So I am in the movement of 0 degree. So what distance I am moving? 20 mm. Next 40 mm. So why? Because 20, 40 shows my polar distance is 20 mm I given. So every 20 mm it will show, right? 20, 40. If you click, the line will stop at 60 mm. Okay. Now you cannot click in between anywhere. Okay, that is a beauty. So it shows many angles. See this 15, 30, 45. Why these angles are coming? Why? Because in the polar angle we set the increment angle. So every 15 increment also we can see this is 0. Okay. So 15, 30. So in the direction of 30, how much distance you want? 20 or 40 or 60. So every 20 increment we can see this is 60 mm. Let me go for the grid snap. Okay. Next is polar tracking. Next function key F10, polar tracking on as well as off. Okay. So what it will do, polar tracking will control the movement of the cursor in a particular direction. Okay. We discussed ortho F8. So that is used to control the movement of the cursor only in X and Y direction. Now this is F10. We are going to control the movement of the mouse or cursor along the particular direction of angle. Okay. Once you switch on F8, F10 will be switched off. Or if you switch on F10, automatically the F8 will switch off. Why? Because F8 allows the mouse movement only X and Y, but F10 allows the mouse or cursor movement in any angle. Okay, so either one should be on or both should be off. Okay, this is the respective status bar icon for polar tracking on as well as off. This is the polar tracking setting dialog box. Okay, so there is a polar angle settings, increment angle. So every increment you can see, apart from the increment you can add some more angles. Okay, in additional angles we can add any angles, maximum of 10 numbers. Okay, next object snap tracking settings and polar angle measurements we will discuss now. Now I'm going to keep increment angle 45 degree. Okay, right, keeping this idea, now I'm going to construct the octagon of 50 mm at 50 in the direction of 0. I know the angle between each line is 45 degrees. So 45 degree increment I know. Just give the distance 50. Okay. So 45 plus 45 how much? 90. Again 50. 45 plus 45 90. 90 plus 45 135 50. 135 plus 45 180 50. Then 225 50. Then 270 15. And 315 50. Right. See now. I have drawn an exact octagon just by giving the distance. I did not give any angle measurements. I did not give any angle. Okay, right. Now I can construct the same octagon without this 50 mm length also. How? So I need to set polar tracking 45 degree and polar snap and polar distance how much? 50. Okay. Now I'm going to get every 50 mm and in the direction of 45 increment. Okay, right. Now let me start. This is, see now it shows only 50. After 50 it will stop at 100. Okay, I want only 50. Just click here. 50, 45, 50, 50. 90 plus 45, 135, 50. 135 plus 45, 180, 50. Next 225, 50 mm. Next 270 degree, 50 mm. And 350 degree, 50 mm. So, see now, I did not give any values here, but I drawn exact octagon. Both are same. Okay. Now, even though I'm struggling to calculate the angles, first octagon I gave only the distance. Second octagon, even I did not given any distance and angle. What I'm coming to say, this polygon I constructed using the increment of 45 degree. What I did, I calculated 0 plus 45, 45, 40 plus 40, 45, 90, 90 plus 45, 135. Like this I added. I don't want to calculate such a way. Why? Because if I did any mistakes while calculating the angles, then the polygon will not come properly. Each side adding 45 degree, that is not an issue. Okay, we can draw any number of sides, 10 sides, 20 sides, 25 sides. During that time, if you go for adding the angles, you may miss any one angle. To avoid such confusions, we know the increment, right? Keeping only that increment, we can draw easily. Now I'm going to construct the same octagon without adding any angle, without giving any measurements. See now. What I'm going to do now, in the polar tracking, there is another option called relative to last sequence. As of now, we are drawing using absolute method. That is why we are adding every 45 degree. If you use relative to last sequence, what will happen? The last line will be considered as a 0 degree. From there, you can add an angle. Relative to last sequence means the measurement of 45 degree will take from the last line. Okay, we'll see now. Now I chosen the related to last segment. Apart from this, I have a polar snap and polar distance I have. Okay, my polar tracking is on. Now I'm going to give 50 mm. So no need to give any measurement because polar distance shows 50 mm. Just click. So now this is 0. Let me take 45 degree. Click 50 mm. Now this line becomes 0 degree. See the angle now 0 degree. So this is a reference. So from here, how much angle you need? 45 degree only, right? Choose the 45 degree, 50 mm. Again, now the last line become a 0 reference. From here, how much? 45 degree. See this 45 degree, 50. Again from here 45 degree, 50. From here 45 degree, 50. From here 45 degree, 50. From here 45 degree. See here, I did not calculated even the angle here. Okay, this is what the beauty of our function keys. Okay, so if we are very familiar in controlling the polar tracking, snap, grid spacing, easily we can construct what you want to do. Okay, next here I'm going to take the tracking of additional angles also. If you want additional angles, just go for new, add 27 degrees, add 101 degrees. Okay, now what is going to happen? You are going to get the increment angle as well as these angles also. Okay, you can see here line. So this is 0 degree. I set new angle 10 degree. Okay, so 27 degrees, 45 degree increment. Next 90 degree from the 101. In this direction, what distance you want, you can set. Okay, right. Object snap tracking setting. Here we have two options. Track orthogonal only. Track using all polar angle settings. Orthogonal in the sense only horizontal vertical. You see here, just I'm going to draw a line from here. Just I'm keeping from the midpoint. If I move my mouse, it shows 0 degree. There is no any increment 45 degree or 17 degree, anything is not coming. So it shows 90 degree. So you can see only this. If you switch on track using all polar angles settings, if you switch on this tracking using all polar angle settings, you will get all the settings now. You see here 0, 10, 27, 45. So all the angles you will get. Okay, so this is the difference between these two. Orthogonal means only horizontal vertical. Track using all polar angle setting means this increment as well as this additional angle you will get from the object snap points. Right. Okay, based on this function key F9 and F10, I have given a small exercise. You try this hexagon with only using function key F9 and F10. Okay, size is given, angle you know, no need to give size, no need to give any angle. You have to construct the hexagon only using F9 and F10 function keys. Okay, in the similar way I am giving two exercise. One is this one, another one is this one. Both the exercise you have to use only F9 and F10 function keys to construct this object with the same measurement, with the same angle. Okay, so that you can able to control your AutoCAD screen easily. Okay, this is our end of session number 13. Next session we are going to discuss function key F11 and F12. Thank you.